Roth.
All right. And have you had a chance to, well, this is sentencing on the aggravated indecent exposure, 2-year misdemeanor with the advisory guidelines currently scored at 0 to 6 months. Any additions or corrections or scoring challenges from the defense?
Your Honor, I did go through the report and I have no additions or corrections to the report, and I believe the scoring is done appropriately.
Okay, Ms. Goodrich, any additions, corrections, or scoring challenges from the people?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Anything you'd like to say on Mr. Roth's behalf?
Your Honor, I think the court is probably slightly aware from a lot of Mr. Roth's motions or the things that he does that I do believe there is a mental health issue here that causes him to do some of these activities, and it's something that I don't think he really can control. I've had a lot of exposure with Mr. Roth, not in an type of aggravated way, but through the process of this case. And a lot of times you see this with Mr. Roth is that he has trouble controlling his emotions or controlling his activity. I would ask the court to consider that. I know one thing in talking with him and reading through the report, he was concerned that the report basically reflected that he was not remorseful for what happened. In his conversations with me, he says he is remorseful and wanted the court to know that. And I would ask the court to possibly consider he's factored out at 0 to 6. He's done very well on bond. We haven't had any issues with him. Any types of violations, I would consider the court to possibly have a no jail sentence in this case. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Mr. Roth, you don't have to say anything today, but it is allowed. Is there anything you want to tell me or no?
Yeah. This past year has been tough in legal battles I've had in Sheboygan. I put the state of Michigan as a New Mexican through a lot, and wanted to apologize to any victim if she or her family is listening. And I'm struggling a lot to work on relationships in my life, and I wrote a statement, but it just taking accountability for my actions and what a lack of maturity that I've shown, and how the medicine that I have been on since November of last year has brought my energy levels up, and there's less boredom and a little bit more determination to have a career and pursue something a little higher. So hope you take that into consideration, and that's it.
Okay, thank you, sir. Ms. Goodrich, recommendations from the people?
Yes, Your Honor. The defendant is 33 years old with no prior felonies and 4 prior misdemeanors. He's listed as currently unemployed. I was disappointed to read his reaction and subsequent messaging with the MDOC agent, and just the lack of remorse or accountability for his actions, and would ask the court to follow the recommendations.
Thank you. Well, Mr. Roth, you're standing before the court for some disturbing conduct, that there isn't an agreement that this would be a non-registerable offense, and I agree with that. And it doesn't fit under the requirements for Michigan's SORA or catch-all provisions. So you don't have to register, but you've got a prior indecent exposure case. And in this case, you're driving down the highway, exposing yourself and masturbating and positioning your car to force other people to look at it. And then even during the pre-sentence interview, you say, well, 90% of women would like that. You are so gravely wrong about that. I mean, that is just a shocking lack of understanding to me, which is consistent, Mr. Roth. You consistently display a complete lack of understanding about how the world views your behavior. How you view your behavior, I promise you, what you think of your behavior is not what other people think of your behavior. Your behavior in our county the last couple of years has been deplorable. You've gotten to know now the circuit judge. That's not a good thing. And I've gotten to know you. That's not a great thing for you.
The prosecution pushes back hard, pointing out the defendant's history and emphasizing a pattern of behavior. They say they're disappointed with his reactions and communication during the process, especially the lack of genuine remorse. The message is clear. The state believes he hasn't truly taken accountability and should face consequences.
Because the ways that I've gotten to know you is your behavior, which is shocking at times. And how you interact with other persons is shocking at times. How you deemed it appropriate for you to interact with an agent of the Department of Corrections and the way that you treated them, the way that you have treated my staff on occasion, the way that you have treated attorneys trying to help you. Your comment that you're very disappointed that except for your lawyer and the judge, everybody's been a woman dealing with your case shows a level of misogyny that is troubling as well. You are a deeply disturbed individual, Mr. Roth, and I don't know that you have any understanding of that. In any event, there are some financial assessments here. $130 as a crime victim's assessment, $350 in court costs. You have to comply with DNA testing and pay a $60 fee, and there's $68 in state costs. I don't think probation would work at all. Nobody in the system seems to be able to communicate with you in a way that makes any sense. So I have no confidence that you would do anything on probation to comply. You have, although the guidelines are 0 to 6 months, a pattern of sexual deviancy and statements showing a total lack of understanding and remorse. There is a cap on 90 days jail. I'm going to impose all 90 of those days with credit for 2 days previously served. That's the sentence of the court, Mr. Roth. You can appeal it if you wish by filing an application. If you want me to give you a lawyer, I would do so, but you'd have to ask me within 6 months. We're going to hand you some of that appeal paperwork. You can fill it out if you want to take an appeal.
The judge begins a strong rebuke, describing disturbing behavior and prior similar conduct. He explains the defendant exposed himself while driving and even tried to justify it in a way that shocks the court. The judge says there's a complete lack of understanding of how society sees his actions, calling his perspective deeply flawed and disconnected from reality.